what's happening now is that AI, and you can see it everywhere in San Francisco, AI is very pervasive. Now it's in the public view, and now the public is using it. And there are dangers associated with that. One, actually published, of course, I published what I did for my degree, which was, I think, the fourth dissertation about artificial intelligence in the US. But I also published a little program that helped in sorting out UFO cases, because 80% of UFO cases can be explained. I mean, that is true. Okay. So, but you can, a computer can guide you in recognizing, for example, when the moon rises through fog, it looks like a luminous disk, on edge. But people can be fooled by that. People can be, honestly describing something that we know how to understand. And there are about 250 rules, recognizing that the computer can keep all of that at the same time, and to interpret what the witness is saying. I cannot. If you tell me you've seen something, I will immediately project myself in your environment, and I will project my impression of what you saw. The computer doesn't do that. That's a mistake, and we make that mistake because we have a brain that reconstructs the situation and tries to place ourselves in your position as a witness. The computer can keep 2 or 3 different hypotheses in mind. It doesn't have a mind, but in its memory at the same time, and look at the conflicts between them. What are the contradictions? And the computer will tell me, yes, but, you forgot to ask, did the dog bark? There are a number of cases where of UFOs, for example, in the US, I could cite some cases to you where there is a guard dog on the ranch or in the farm, and a UFO approaches and the dog doesn't bark and tries to run into the house and, hits the dog, and wakes up the people because the dog is afraid.
Wow.
A guard dog, a cattle guard dog once is terrified. There are cases like that, on the ranch, on the Bigelow Ranch, where the dogs were terrified, and those are guard dogs. And those things a computer will keep in its memory and will remind you, did you ask that particular question? So I published that in 1985. Before the web was invented, okay? I mean, those things come from way back. And to understand the impact today, which a lot of people are, writing laws about AI, they don't know that history, and we have to be careful with all of that. I think people should look back a little bit. One of my bosses, when I was a young, scientist, used to say, if you want to look 10 years into the future, you have to look 50 years in the past, okay?
Interesting.
If you want to know what an airplane is going to look like in 10 years, you have to look at the airplanes of 50 years ago and understand how they were made and what the problems were there for the engineers who built it. And then, because those problems are still there, okay? I mean, nature hasn't changed that much, and you have to understand that and understand what were the mistakes. Why did those airplanes crash? Why did we stop going to the moon? 50 years ago, we stopped going to the moon 50 years ago.
Why?
Okay? And why? And you have to understand that to understand the people who are building the rockets to go to the moon. Now, why are they doing it this way? What were the lessons from their professors, from their colleagues, from their teachers, from the older people? So what I want to do is, I'm at an age where it's time for me to just um, record what I've learned and let other people use it as they may. So that's why I'm writing those books, to document what were the mistakes we made. I mean, what were the things we were proud of, but also what are the things that didn't work, And there were many mistakes that we made that people shouldn't make again. I think that's why I'm doing this.